Welcome to The Conversation, where we talk to professionals and leaders in the performing arts and entertainment industries. I'm your host, Veronique George, and today I have the pleasure of speaking with Zaylin Yates. Zaylin, how are you doing today?
I'm growing, thriving, and prospering. That's how I'm feeling today.
I love that.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Veronique.
It's my pleasure, Zaylin. I love that. We will take it. I'll first start off by giving a very brief bio, and then we can just jump right into the conversation.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Well, Zaylin Yates is the founding manager, director of Bravo Theater. He is also an engagement manager at the Adrian Arts Center. Additionally, Zaylin serves on the Heritage Committee at the Adrian Arts Center, a program dedicated to celebrating Black artists in the South Florida community. He graduated from Florida A&M University and is based in Miami, Florida. And I met Zaylin at FAMU on a show. I've had the privilege of working with him a couple of times now and working with him on his personal projects as well for Bravo Theater, and as well as the comeback when we read that at the Atlanta Black Theater Festival in September 2022. So it's so good to see you again, Zaylin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, no, every time we get the pleasure to work together, I feel like it just feels full circle. That day, just me going to FAMU as a freshman and meeting you for the first time, and us auditioning to be ensemble members. And I feel like we didn't even think that we were going to get the part, or we didn't even think we were going to be in the piece. And then, lo and behold, we were like the two main ensemble members.
This is true. This
At
is
all.
true. Yes, and connected right away and just been in touch ever since. Good people,
Right.
good energy, good vibes. So let's jump right
Yes.
into this conversation.
Okay.
Bravo Theater is off to a great start and is in the process of launching its second season. What inspired
Yes.
you to start the company?
Whew. Veronique, it's a long story, but I'll try and give you the short version of it in for the sakes of time.
Mhm.
While I was at Florida A&M University, of course, I was double majoring in business and theater. And while I was a part of the theater program, I was also Mr. Essential Theater. And one of the main roles that I served there was being the voice of the students and I would say the young people of the theater department. And so one of my years, we wanted to do a fundraiser for the program. And that program, we were like, okay, I've always wanted to do a dinner theater. For some reason, I've been in love with dinner theater since I've been in sixth grade. And I just knew that like I was going to start a dinner theater one day and it was going to change the world. It's going to be groundbreaking. And then I got into high school and realized that dinner theaters actually exist. I didn't know that before. So, side note. Um, but I always had a passion for dinner theater. And so my producing artistic director, Terrence Pride, he was like, let's do a dinner theater. You've always wanted to do that. Let's make it happen. And I was just like, all right, let's do that. And so, again, long story short, produced, cast, directed, received help from different students for costuming. Terrence was instrumental in getting funding for the fundraiser. But our main focus for that fundraiser is that we wanted to showcase students who had not had the opportunity to be on stage. So a lot of the students, we saw them in a lot of the main stage production, but there were students who we worked with in class that were just talented, and we felt like some of their talents just wasn't being showcased. And so that's why I really wanted to make sure that those individuals had the opportunity to be on stage. And one of the crowning moments was when we finished with the show and some of the professors came up to me and was like, "Oh, I didn't know so and so could do that," or "Wow, I didn't know so and so could act like that." And that was just one of the best feelings because that was the reason why we wanted to do it in the first place. And so fast forward, we brought that same mindset down here to South Florida. We both ended up here. I transferred down here for a job, as well as Terrence. He was working on a cruise ship at the time and ended up stationing in Fort Lauderdale. And so while I was down here, I started looking at, theater companies. And every single theater company I went to, one, the people in the cast did not look like me, primarily both race and age, as well as a lot of the individuals in the audiences did not look like me. And I feel like I was like an outlier because I would always get the question of, "Oh, what brings you here? Are you in school?" And I'm like, "No, I've already graduated for quite some time now." And they're
Right.
like, "Oh, well, why are you here? Is it like some you doing some assignment?" And I'm just like, "No, I just like theater. That's why I came." And so that right there told me that they had not seen a lot of people that looked like me nor my age in their theaters. And I basically saw that there was a need and a hole that needed to be filled by showcasing these young professional artists who are really out here and working and talented and need to be showcased and receive those opportunities. And that's Bravo Theater came to be.
Awesome. What a powerful story, Zaylin. You saw a need, you filled the gap, and look at you today. Which brings me to my next question for you. How does your theater's programming hold space to Black and other underrepresented communities and support diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives?
Well, we definitely hold space, one, by creating a safe space for, I want to say, not only BIPOC artists, but everyone in the community. So even though we do programming that does focus on certain demographics at times, we never want to make anybody feel like they're not welcomed in the space or that their viewpoints or their opinions are not valid in our conversations. And so whenever we are holding us or whenever we're putting on a production, we'll have either a talk back. Most recently, we just had a symposium. Our last season was entitled Between Two Worlds, where we primarily focused on biracial identity by producing American Son and then also Funny House of a Negro. And at Funny House of a Negro, we did a symposium entitled Between Two Worlds also. And that touched on the themes in the play, such as colorism, biracial identity, depression, self identity. And not only was there Black people in the audience, but there were other races as well. But they also felt okay to be a part of the conversation. They also felt like their opinions were valid. And that was one of the main things that we wanted to do when we started this company is when we do produce shows that we also provide an educational component so that you're not just coming to a show and being like, oh, that was such a nice show to see, and then you leave. But you'll be able to take a piece of theater or see what you just witnessed and then digest it, be able to bring it back and say, wow, I never thought of that before, or wow, that was a really great conversation. I loved how, they discussed X, Y, and Z. That just changed my viewpoint on this. And so again, I said all that to say that we hold space for our BIPOC artists because we do feel like that is the underserved community down here in South Florida when it comes to nice quality professional theater. But we want to make sure that everybody in the community is always feels welcome and always feels like they can be a part of our shows, as well as in the casting, because we do primarily focus on colorblind casting. So less of role specifically talks about, someone's race or their color or what have you. We just want to see people that can genuinely tell the story or genuinely share their character or their talents with the audience.
Wow. That's amazing work that you're doing, Zaylin. So proud of you. I always say that, but I truly am. Congratulations again on being nominated for 5 Broadway regional awards.
Yes.
What's next for your company?
Whew. As I'm thinking about it, I'm just sweating because it's a lot. Um, but so, we're in the midst of our 2023 season. So we have our freshly rooted new works play readings that is premiering and we also have some partnerships coming up as well that we're very excited about, such as partnership with Island City Stage and Wilton Manors. We'll be producing A Brother Size there by Terrell Alvin McCraney, and also we'll be doing our first musical, Five Guys Named Mo,
Nice.
and that's going to be so much fun. We're so excited for that show. But one of the, I think, biggest parts of Bravo Theater, which is again one of our main focuses, is our Theater for Youth. So our Young, Gifted, and Brave Theater for Youth series, which was what was nominated for the 5 Broadway Regional Awards, will be launching that again in the summer. And that program right there just holds near and dear to my heart, because that's where we get to really cultivate the high schoolers up to second year in college, whether it is behind the scenes, on the stage, guest services. We're just trying to expose them to all of those avenues so that when they are going out and they're doing auditions, and when they are going out for these roles, or when they are just trying to approach other people for professional opportunities, they feel empowered and they feel encouraged and they feel like they are ready to actually step out there and put their best foot forward. So we're very excited about 2023. 2022 was great, but I think 2023 is going to just shoot Bravo Theater into outer space somewhere out there.
Amazing. I cannot wait to see what you do next year. And thank you so much for joining us, Zaylin. It's been a real pleasure talking to you and learning more about your endeavors. Please let our audience know where they can find you and stay connected.
Yes, you all can, of course, find us at bravotheater.org or on Facebook and Twitter at Bravo Theater and Instagram at Bravo_theater.
Lovely. Thank you so much again. And thank you, VOG Productions community, for joining us today. Please stay connected with us on social media. We'll see you next time. Take care.